Let's go back to politics. Obiano's administration.
Yeah.
During that time, there were a lot of more like controversies. Age, commissioner. If you don't get to 30 years, you will be commission. How was the Obiano government for you? How did you get in? And what's up with the whole age matter that year? And I think it was on your 30th birthday that you were made commissioner or something, and you were the youngest commissioner during that government. Guide us. We've not heard that gist well. Go ahead.
Wow.
How did you get into the administration first?
You've done some research.
I have.
So I need to look at these coppers. Maybe they're the ones that have done some serious research. In fact, with the small salary that they will start, they pay us. Please, my brother, they can be assured that I've paid for their lunch for next week. All the coppers. Because,
Thank you, sir.
No, fantastic question.
Thank you.
So we ended it when I had just joined the Obi administration at that point. But it was in the tail end. And early August was the primaries of APGA. At that time, I was actually working closely with the SSG of Siluka Baze. And
OHO.
Yes, OHO. And working closely with him. And we thought he was even going to be the governor.
Yes.
Because he was a strong contender.
Yes.
If you check OHO campaign organization, I probably was even the director of finance. And then he had the issues going through the primaries and didn't scale through. And then overnight, they said there was someone called Willie Obiano. He came from America. He's going to be the next governor. He's going to have APGA tickets. Tough day. Tough. Because in politics, there are camps, right? So for about 3, 4, 5 months, they kept saying he's the one to be governor. So we invested. And I'm not saying money. I'm just saying time, association, support. And then last minute, we hear he didn't scale through the primaries. And it was Obiano. Usually, it means you're on the outside. You can't get in.
That's a different camp.
So he had his guys. And then one day, he was at Trick Point, where he was hosting a few people. And I was told. So I went there. And I went there with a document, 2 pages. The first page is all the things I had done as SSA, Senior Special Assistant on Investments. The second page were the things that I felt if a new government comes in the area of investments, what they should do. And I'll speak about it a little bit.
Go ahead.
The things that I had done, what were they? This famous Sab Miller, they needed extra land at that point and what have you. I was the liaison between Ministry of Finance that gave them their CFO. In my Onitsha shopping mall.
Yes. The ShopRite.
Yes, ShopRite. We structured that project. We helped them get the land. We helped them sort out all the issues at the time. We're going for project meetings every week when they, scoping it out. In Magolo Lake Hotel, all those things. Going to those project sites, trying to put in the initial structures, going abroad, searching for the right partners. Then it was Protea we were trying to bring there. And a couple of other things. Then, what was I recommending are things that we should do if Obiano won? Do you know Anambra State Investment Promotion Agency? ANSIPA.
ANSIPA, yes.
We wrote 17 pages of that bill, end to end. I wrote that bill. Prepared it. I said, this investment thing, we have to do it through an agency. That all the states, everybody is just doing it as an essay. That even me, who's SSA Investment, I have become the clog in the wheel of progress. That there was need to turn my office into an agency, institutionalize it, give people, divide labor, give people different responsibilities. So I said, I think if you come in, because you are coming from the private sector as a former DMD of Fidelity Bank, if you go with ANSIPA, you can use that vehicle to attract a lot of investments. I also identified some other projects I thought were important. You know what he told me? He said, young man, I like this, but it's not good enough. I give you the next 1 week to write my manifesto. Give me a draft. I went back to my room that night. I said, God, what kind of opportunity have you given me? You know? And I put out my laptop, brought out a bottle of wine, and I started writing at 8 p.m. By 8:15 in the morning, 12 hours, 15 minutes, I wrote the first draft of the Obiano Manifesto. The first draft was called 3 C's, the 3 C's of the Obiano administration: continue, complete, and commission projects.
I remember that.
Yes.
I remember that.
And then he added a 4C after I gave it to him. He said, commence a new set of projects in line with his own agenda. So his commitment to complete and then to start his own agenda. So he assured me as we were going into the ABGA elections that you have a role in my government, but don't tell anybody. You know? And then he started. So
how old were you then?
27. So by the time he came into office, March 17th, 2014, he called me. He says, where are you? So, Your Excellency, I'm in Lagos. He said, are you mad? I said, Your Excellency, did I do anything wrong? He said, so you worked with me all this time. You now decided to run to Lagos when the government is starting? I said, I'm sorry. He said, my friend, will you come back here first thing in the morning? So I caught the first flight, came. He gave me the appointment letter again as Senior Special Assistant on Investments. He said, go and bring that draft law you have. You and the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Chinwe Webili, pass it into law in the next 4 weeks. In 2 weeks, they had passed the law. And that's how we set up that place. I served as the first executive director. ANSIPA. Today, you have Coast Farms in Ibariam, in Omo side. That's ANSIPA. You have the largest poultry facility in southeast, south in Ibariam. That was one of our first projects. Oka Millennium City, if you've been, those are some of the projects we were doing just before I left ANSIPA. So you asked me about what happened, youngest commissioner.
With the age and everything.
So just about that time, having worked 1 year in ANSIPA, 1 full year, I was called to Government House by Governor Obiano to come and pick up a letter and help him deliver it at House of Assembly. So I pick up the letter and I drop it with Chinwe Webili in her office. And then leaving her office, I get another call from Obiano. Mark. I say, yes, sir. Yes, Your Excellency. Say, Bonyala. I say, what did I do, sir? Say, so you can't say thank you? You didn't see what was in the letter? I say, Your Excellency, I did not open the letter. He said, but it was open. I didn't seal it. I said, well, I just delivered it. He said, go back to that office. Then call me later. I go back to our office and I found out that my name was the 6th name on commissioner nominees to be made commissioner in Anambra State government at the time. I called him, I thanked him. He said, no. I like young people with helicopter qualities. I love youths. I don't like expired managers. I only want to work with young people who show helicopter qualities. Do you know how an helicopter flies? I say, yes, sir. It takes off from here and it goes exactly where it wants to land and it drops. See, that's what I mean by helicopter qualities. Young men and women that search and fix. So I said, thank you, sir. So we went through the screening process, answered all the questions on the House of Assembly, on the floor of the House of Assembly. And then the last one came. How old are you? Sir, I'm 28. Sir, keep quiet. Hit the gavel. He's suspended. The screening is suspended. So one or two persons came to me and said, bros, we're going to fix it. Let's go to the court. Sign, do affidavits that you're 30, because the minimum age for commissioner was 30 then. Say, swear an affidavit that you're 30 and come back tomorrow and let's conclude it. I said, yeah, thank you. As soon as they left, I said, these are the guys. With this story that they know now, they're going to use this story and box me in someday. So may they carry their wahala that if it is God that wants me to be commissioner, I'll be commissioner.
You will.
So with this thing happening, God has said it's not time yet. So I went to Obiano and told him, say, Your Excellency, this is what happened, but I'm going back to the office because I have 3 memos I need to prepare for you for tomorrow. I finished those memos around 11 o'clock, printed them, and then came back to my house, slept, woke up the next morning, got into the office. There was a letter on my table that they've moved me now from executive director and from senior special assistant to special advisor on economic planning and budget to oversee the Ministry of Economic Planning, and no commissioner will be appointed. And that's when the journey started. We came in, my PEMSEC, permanent secretary, was about maybe 70 or so, or 65, as they say on the records, but you know, could have been my father. My director of finance, also quite old. I said, wow, civil servants. But we started managing them, navigating, you know. And that was a very tough year because that was 2015. And the Nigerian economy crashed because of oil prices. Oil prices dropped to about $26. So things were very challenging. And we had just come back from a meeting in Abuja with the governor where they said the economy is now in recession. I think Kemi Adeosun was the minister then. We came back. He was already my SA, my EA in the ministry, to Chuko Obiadi, the state youth leader of ABGA today. He was executive assistant to the governor, posted. So we got back from that trip. We said, Kai, the whole media is awash. It's buzzing. They say Nigeria's economy is in a recession. We are technically in a recession. But that was just all they said. I said, my own approach as a government official, you have to see yourself, in my mind, as someone who provides solutions when there is problems, challenges, or adversity. You don't compound the problems. So I called a small team of young men, him, Obiora Briabomo, who was also more like a chief of staff in the ministry, who ended up becoming the current statistician general of Anambra State. Another young man who was working for me in Ansipa as the head of public-private partnerships. Today, he runs the Enugu SME agency and also the special advisor to the governor for digital economy. We also brought in a few of the young people in my office. We sat down and we said we must provide solutions to this situation. And 3 days later, at Executive Council session, we submitted what will become the Anambra State Economic Stimulus Package. 22 policy actions recommended across 4 areas. So anybody who was in Anambra at the time when you heard wheelbarrow tax was suspended, some of these small taxes suspended in the market, that was the document. Do you remember some things like choose your project, community project? That was the document. Do you remember this social investment program, Empower, school feeding program, all of these initiatives? All of those were the policy actions that we said government needs to focus on these areas to address the economic hardship so that you can stabilize things and then start charting a road to growth. I believe, Governor Obiano, you may ask him, but I believe that the challenges we overcame and that document, the innovation around delivering that document and presenting it to the Anambra State Executive Council, all the commissioners, everybody. And there were maybe 1 or 2 questions, 3 questions, and it was approved. I have a feeling that was the day the governor was convinced that a young man can do this, or a young person can do this job as Commissioner of Economic Planning.
And deliver.
So we kept moving, but it wasn't without challenges. Every day there was one person, you will hear this. They said this person is looking for this job, or someone wants to be made commissioner. They said this person has carried money and are asking for this. Well, for me, it was just a lesson of the best type of politics, my brother. Is the politics of hard work. You will hear this, you will hear that. They will say she did this, he did that, she wants this, she wants that. All of that thing is insignificant if you just say, what is the objective? They say the objective is to deliver on this role, Abi. Work hard, leave the rest to God. And that's what we did.
Ndebe anyị, unu kpọrọ nya bụ oku, anyị azago. Ugbu a, ị ga-abụ onye ọbịa na gbam, n'agbanyeghị ebe ọbụla ị nọ n'ụwa. Ị chọrọ ka anyị gbaa gị ajụjụ ọnụ maọbụ ị chọrọ ka ụwa nụ ọnụ gị? Deere anyị ozi maọbụ kpọọ anyị n'akara ekwentị ndị a ị na-ahụ n'iru onyonyo gị. Daalụnụ.